Welcome to another episode of Chasing Green Arrows. And this week we'll be talking about the predictions for the upcoming double game week 35. And I have with me my brother Mustafa Ismail. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Plenty of fixtures to look forward to this week.
Definitely. And your prediction about the rejiggering of the schedule came out to be true. It was a prediction and a guess, but it turned out that that's what's happening.
Yeah, it wasn't my prediction. I mean, we saw it on Twitter and everything. They were, I think it was Ben or someone on Twitter. He tweeted it, and it came out to be true. And yeah, it was likely, and it worked out. But yeah, that it just shows the fixtures this season have been like clumped together, and I think everyone will be looking forward to a bit of a break before the Euros, because the players will probably be burnt out after this. All the games are clustered together, plus the European games and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. Imagine if we had a Super League on top of that. It's like, when do you have time to play?
Yeah, that wouldn't have been possible.
All right, man. So we'll get right into it.
Yeah.
And the first game, so this is a double game week. We'll go through the first round of fixtures of the week, and then we will just say that, okay, this is the second round of fixtures.
Yeah.
And basically, there's football throughout the week. I think every single day there's some sort of match. So for the viewers, it's going to be an exciting week for sure.
Definitely.
All right. So the first game is on a Friday, May 7th, and the only game is Leicester versus Newcastle. So just for your FPL people out there, side note, Friday again is the deadline. But go ahead. What's your prediction?
Yeah, Newcastle. Leicester will be very disappointed to not capitalize against a 10-man Southampton team. They should have won like 4 or 5-0, but it didn't happen. Southampton played really well. They frustrated Leicester. And yeah, it's Vardy's not been in that form that he has been over the years. It's Iheanacho, of course, he's in sublime form, but I think the likes of Maddison and Vardy, they have to star for Leicester to continue this run, and they need to win this game because Southampton was 2 crucial points drop, and now they're playing Newcastle. After this, they have very tough fixtures, so I think this is a very important game for them. Newcastle, a very good run, halted by a strong Arsenal team, but yeah, I'm going to go probably with Leicester. I think they need this a bit more. I'm going to go 2-0 to Leicester.
All right. So, and then as we move into Saturday, we have 4 games on Saturday. There's a big one coming up, but let's start with Leeds versus Spurs, which could be very interesting.
Yeah, Leeds have had a fantastic season, but yes, they've blown hot and cold as well. Again, against Brighton, they lost. It was a team, that sat back and soaked up the Leeds pressure and then hit them on the counter. Leeds, when that happens, Leeds do get exposed sometimes, but I think overall they've had a really good season. Whereas Spurs, they've been on the decline, but a 4-0 win against Sheffield, even though it is just Sheffield, will give them confidence. I think this is going to be a good game. There will be plenty of goals. I'm going to go 3-2 to Spurs.
Cool. And then Sheffield versus Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Sheffield has just been awful. They've been relegated. They won 1 game against Brighton, I think, after relegation. But apart from that, they have nothing to play for. Hopefully, they just enjoy their last few games in the Premier League. Palace, on the other hand, they lost to City. But I see some goals from Palace in this game. I'm going to go 2-0 to Palace.
All right. And I say the biggest game of the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Chelsea versus Man City, Saturday, 3rd game of the night.
Yeah, upon recording this, we've seen the City Champions League game, but we haven't seen the Chelsea yet. That's tonight. But by the time this episode comes out, we'll probably know the Chelsea results. So you can look at how they performed and everything as well based on that before you make your prediction. But I just feel going into this game, City, ton of confidence. They're playing really good football. I think they want to wrap up the league. They will be determined. Chelsea, on the other hand, have been kind of their kryptonite. They beat them in the FA Cup semi-final, and the defense has been solid. Also, I don't know, because Chelsea are going to play City and then they're going to play Arsenal this double game week. They're going to play Madrid. That Madrid game, if that goes into extra time or if it's a close game, intense game, will they be up for the City battle? I don't know. That will be also a big question mark. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really good battle. I'm going to go with I'm going with a 1-1 draw, actually, City and Chelsea.
Yeah, that's a fair result. And City have such squad depth that they could easily play and
that's going to be the difference because City will play a different team. You saw off the bench, Aguero, Jesus, Sterling coming on. Those guys will be starters probably against Chelsea. So they have plenty of options. Chelsea don't have exactly those options, and they need to focus on top 4 as well. So this game is equally or if not more important, because for City, the bag is in the title. The Premier League is in the bag. Sorry, the title is in the bag. Yeah. But for Chelsea, the top 4 race is still on, and they'll need to win this game and put pressure on the likes of Liverpool and the West Ham and the teams trailing them basically. So it's a big game for them. But I just don't know stamina wise fatigue-wise, injury-wise, will they be up for it? But still, apart from all that, I think Tuchel will make it difficult for City.
All right, cool. And Liverpool Southampton, the last game of Saturday.
Yeah, the Liverpool United game was cancelled due to the protests. We didn't see how Liverpool played in last game week, but the game week before they drew to Newcastle. They don't like these kind of fixtures this season, the likes of the Newcastle, Fulham. Now they're going to play Southampton. But again, it's the top four races on. They don't have any Champions League, any European League. They'll be fresh. So I think I'm going to... But I never tipped Liverpool, so I'm going to go with 1-1.
That's your thing for the season. No tipping Liverpool.
Yeah. Probably
All right,
win,
so
but
on
yeah.
No, it's okay. You never know. It could work out. Sunday, May 9th is another set of 4 fixtures, and the first one is Wolves versus Brighton.
I
Interesting.
think Brighton have come back well after that defeat to Sheffield. They played really well in the last game against Leeds. Danny Welbeck scoring will give him a lot of confidence that, his goal was wonderful, the way he took it. And it just shows that there is talent in that Brighton team. I still feel, they need to be more clinical because Welbeck, Mope do get a lot of chances. And their defense has been pretty good this season. Again, it's just a few mistakes here and there, and sometimes they do lose the game. Sometimes it's not their fault, and sometimes it is. They have to just, I think, build towards next season now. They're a good team, and a few transfers next season, they can become more solid. Whereas Wolves, again, injury played, good players getting transferred out to other clubs this season. So it's been a transition season for Wolves. I think they've adapted well. They haven't got relegated or anything like that. I think they've stayed mid-table throughout. They've caused some big teams some problems as well. And I think Nuno's a really good coach. Last couple of results have not gone their way. He'll want to rectify that. I'm going to go with 1-1.
All right. And then the Manchester United versus Aston Villa.
Manchester United versus Aston Villa. We didn't see United play last week, but Villa, very impressive win against Everton. They're playing well despite no Grealish. They're still putting up performances. But I'm going to back United. I think they really need to win this game to secure that top 4. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 United win.
All right. And another enticing game, maybe the best game of Sunday, not the weekend, West Ham versus Everton. Intriguing game.
Yeah, it will be an intriguing game. I think West Ham, after a couple of poor results, they fought back last week against Burnley. It was a really good result for them. Antonio was really good. His goal was nice. And I think they haven't been in that red hot form. It kind of tapered off in between, but it's good to see that they still have that fire in them and they can still win games. Everton have tapered off this season. Last few games have been a bit poor, despite beating Arsenal. Their performances haven't been great, and Ancelotti will want to finish this season on a high. It's going to be a big game. I'm going to go West Ham 2-1.
Fair enough. And the last game of Sunday, Arsenal versus West Brom.
West Brom, very impressive last few games. I think 3-4 games they've been hard to beat. Even if they're beaten, it's been tough. They've got a lot of draws. I think they want to convert that into wins for sure. It looks unlikely that they'll stay up, but I think they're giving a fight, and that's what you want to see from a Premier League team, not giving up that early. And credit to Sam Allardyce for that. Arsenal, again, I think they're just focusing on the Europa League. They'll be looking at the Villarreal game on Thursday. They're not going to be too focused on this. Of course, they will say that for every game they're ready, but I just feel that if they do beat Villarreal and they go through, they'll have that confidence into the West Brom game and they can win that as well. I'm going to go with the 2-0 Arsenal win.
All right, and the last game of the first round of fixtures for this game week, Fulham versus Burnley. Potentially a snoozer, but Burnley has been doing interesting in the last couple of games.
Yeah, Burnley, they've lost a few games and suddenly there was a 4-0 result in between there. So they've been inconsistent, which is not like Sean Dyche's teams. Normally they're solid defensively. Fulham, again, Scott Parker has tried his best, but they haven't got the desired results. They lost to Chelsea in the last game as well. They're solid defensively, but attacking-wise, they haven't provided a threat. They haven't been clinical enough, and that's it. It's very difficult to absorb that pressure week in and week out if you're not scoring on the other end. And I think that's something that Fulham will have to work on. Again, this is going to be, I'm going to go with a 0-0, to be honest with you. I just feel it might be a snooze fest. Just gives me that feeling.
All right. So, and then we're moving into the second round of fixtures for the week. Starting on Tuesday, we have one match, Southampton versus Crystal Palace.
Yeah, again, Southampton, from what I saw last week, very impressive the way they played. With 10 men to do that is just fantastic. If you give James Ward-Prowse a set piece, he will convert it. And I think Danny Ings not being there has really impacted them. Will, Che Adams step up? Can the other guys step up as well? But I think a great start to the season. Then in the middle they tapered off, and now they're kind of fighting it out. I just feel against Palace they will have an advantage. I'm going to go to 2-1 Southampton.
All right, and two big games on Wednesday. First, the kickoff is Manchester United versus Leicester. What's going to happen in this one at Old Trafford? Should be interesting considering the protests were there.
Massive game. If the previous games of these guys in this week, if United win and Leicester win their respective games, I think this will be more comfortable for both teams. But if they both drop points, then I think they'll both really want to go for it. So I think it's going to be a big game at Old Trafford. Leicester will fancy their chances playing on the counter against United. They do have the pace, but again, United have been in really good form. They showed against Roma in the first leg what they did, and despite the 0-0 against Leeds, they've been scoring goals and they've provided a threat. The only thing with United, they don't want to keep conceding. They'll want to keep that clean sheet. And again, the approach will depend on how the first games go. So it'll be very difficult to predict, but I'm going to go 1-0 United, actually. I think it's going to be very close.
All right. And I guess would
Chelsea,
this be
Arsenal.
no? This is not the North London derby, but it is a London derby.
Yeah.
Chelsea versus Arsenal. Yeah.
Chelsea versus Arsenal. I think again, for Chelsea, it's a massive week, right? They're playing Madrid, then they're playing City, and now they're playing Arsenal. Will their squad be able to cope with it? They do have the players. They have invested heavily. They can also.
They have depth. They have depth. Yeah.
Not necessarily as City, but then Arsenal is also playing 2 games in this week, and they're playing Europa League as well. So it'll test Arsenal as much as it'll test Chelsea. Here, I think Chelsea will have the advantage, whereas against City, I think City do have that advantage in that game. But here, I think Chelsea have the advantage because Arsenal are also in that same boat, and they don't have that squad depth that Chelsea have. So I think Chelsea will probably win this game. I'm gonna go probably let's go 2-1 to Chelsea. I'm gonna go 2-1 to Chelsea.
All right, cool. And the last game of this game week, Aston Villa versus Everton. Another interesting game. We're assuming Everton will show up in these matches, like against West Ham and Aston Villa, but again, they're going to be good matches.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good game. But I was just seeing this. Villa and Everton played last week as well, right?
But I think they had a rescheduled game, right?
Yeah, so it's like back to back. Yeah, it is a rescheduled game. So last week it was in Goodison Park. This week it's going to be in Villa Park. They're playing again.
Yeah.
So last Villa won away from home. Now they're playing at home against the same opposition. That's very strange. It's the first time I've seen this where they're playing back to back weeks, the same team in the same league.
Welcome to COVID like football, man. This is anything's possible.
I've seen the same team play twice in a week, FA Cup, different competitions, but Premier League both times. They know each other really well. I don't know how this game is going to go. I think it'll be closely contested because they just played with each other last week. They'll know the tactics. Villa won last week, so let's let Everton win this week. I think so. 2-1 Everton.
I think that's fair, and that's the last game of this game week. But just for the viewers, Friday 14th May, the next game week 36 starts again. So it's back-to-back football. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. It's like every day there's football this week. So
back-to-back.
It's going on until Sunday. Back-to-back. So it's a very packed end to the season. And it's going to be a really, for the football fans, it's an amazing amount of football to watch for content. And those are our predictions. And let's see how well we do this week in the table.
Yeah, for sure. I think Zohar's probably won this looking at the table. But I think me and Abrar fighting.
He's been ahead since the beginning.
We're fighting for that second spot. But tune in, comment with your predictions. Who do you think is going to win the game? And make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. But until then, I think that's all. Thank you for hosting me today. And I'll catch you soon.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one.